We're here because free speech is under attack. We're here because people are being convinced that socialism works. We're here because people are being judged guilty until proven innocent. We are fighting back with facts. This is not a safe zone, so buckle up, Buttercup. This is the raw, naked truth.
Russia expands military partnerships. DEI is dying. Yale fails to report anti-Semitic influences, and more. Welcome to the Raw Naked Truth. I'm your host, Eric Lopkin, and here's the news you need to know. Democratic strategists and advisors to President Biden are revealing concerns about the campaign's direction and leadership with just months to go before the election in November. A Democratic strategist who communicates with the Biden campaign said that he doesn't know what plan Biden's inner circle has to beat former President Trump, if any. It is unclear to many of us watching from the outside whether the president and his core team realize how dire the situation is right now and whether they even have a plan to fix it, the strategist told Axios. Some advisors feel pressure not to speak up in meetings, especially when in the presence of Biden's most trusted and longest-serving aides. A climate activism group vandalized Stonehenge as part of a wider protest against fossil fuels. Just Stop Oil, the organization behind the Wednesday incident, is demanding that the incoming UK government commit to working with other governments to agree on an equitable plan to end the extraction and burning of oil, gas, and coal by 2030. Stonehenge at solstice is all about celebrating the natural world, but look at the state it's in. We all have a right to live a life free from suffering, but continued burning of oil, coal, and gas is leading to death and suffering on an unparalleled scale, said 21-year-old Oxford student Nian Lynch, who participated in the stunt. This stunt is similar to dozens committed over the past several years by multiple climate activism organizations that have sought public attention via vandalism. White-collar companies that once championed DEI programs are now moving away from them. PricewaterhouseCoopers and JP Morgan Chase are among those that recently removed or altered descriptions of their programs for underrepresented students. The shift came after an anti-woke movement took aim at U.S. companies and a Supreme Court decision overturned affirmative action in college admissions. Employers' embrace of diversity, equity, and inclusion initiatives peaked in 2021, sparked by the death of George Floyd and the height of the Black Lives Matter movement a year earlier. In the years since, access to DEI programs has been slowly declining, according to a Glassdoor study in April. Companies have made the changes quietly, often by playing down terminology such as DEI and opening up programs once reserved for diverse applicants to everyone. Many stopped referencing their DEI programs in annual reports altogether, the Wall Street Journal has reported. DEI programs in general have been considered a failure, as they tend to shift discrimination between groups rather than eliminating discrimination altogether. Russia's military cooperation with Iran, North Korea, and China has expanded into the sharing of sensitive technologies that could threaten the U.S. and its allies long after the Ukraine war ends, according to U.S. defense and intelligence officials. The speed and depth of the expanding security ties involving the U.S. adversaries has at times surprised American intelligence analysts. Russia and the other nations have set aside historic frictions to collectively counter what they regard as a U.S.-dominated global system. In a sign of the closer military relations, Russian President Vladimir Putin and North Korea's Kim Jong-un said Wednesday in Pyongyang that they had struck a deal to provide mutual aid if either country was attacked, describing the relationship as an alliance between the two authoritarian nations. Moscow's expanded outreach to North Korea, Iran, and China began after Putin's February 2022 invasion of Ukraine, as early battlefield setbacks and Western sanctions set Russia desperately looking for new sources of weapons. Yale University failed to disclose upwards of $15 million in contributions from Qatar, the Middle Eastern nation that provides funding and shelter to Hamas's top leadership, in violation of federal reporting laws, according to an investigation by a watchdog group. The Institute for the Study of Global Anti-Semitism and Policy determined that Yale received at least $15,925,711 from Qatar entities since 2012, but only publicly reported one grant worth $284,668, according to a study provided exclusively to the Washington Free Beacon. Yale's failure to report this funding runs afoul of federal disclosure laws that require American universities to semi-annually list all foreign-funded gifts and contracts exceeding $250,000. It is unclear if the Qatari funding and projects were structured in a way that allowed the school to omit them from federal reports. Construction of new homes fell 5.5% in May, the lowest level in 4 years, as builders pulled back on new projects. Housing starts fell to 1.28 million annual pace from 1.35 million in April, the government said on Thursday. That's how many houses would be built over an entire year if construction takes place at the same rate every month as in May. The last time housing starts were at this level was in June 2020 during the COVID-19 pandemic. That's the Raw Naked Truth. You can catch every episode of the Raw Naked Truth at xvadio.com, the Apple Podcasts app, Google Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Audible, Amazon Music, and other platforms that respect freedom of speech. We'll see you next time.